Every single year, more than 15 million people worldwide suffer a stroke. Of those, nearly 6 million die and another 5 million are left permanently disabled. In the United States alone, one senior is struck down by a stroke every 40 seconds. By the time this video ends, dozens of lives will have been completely changed, families left in shock, memories erased, independence stolen. Strokes are terrifying because they happen fast. One clot, one burst blood vessel, and suddenly the brain begins dying within minutes. But here's what most people don't realize. Experts estimate that up to 80% of strokes are preventable. That's right. 8 out of 10 could be stopped before they ever happen, simply by changing daily habits. And here's where it gets shocking. Researchers now say that small actions taken in the first hour of your morning can slash stroke risk by as much as 70%. That's the power of routine. The very first things you do after opening your eyes may determine whether your brain stays alive and sharp, or whether a stroke destroys it without warning. So today, we're revealing 6 simple morning habits that every senior must follow. These aren't gimmicks. They're rooted in science, proven by studies, and explained in plain language you can use immediately. Each one is tied to real stories from seniors whose lives changed because of these small shifts. And number 3, it's so unexpected and so powerful that when doctors saw the study results, they had to read them twice. Every study I mentioned today is listed in the description, so don't just take my word for it, check the science yourself. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you? And what's the very first thing you usually do in the morning after waking up? Drop your answer below. We scroll through and reply to every single comment like it's part of your own health story, so don't be shy. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 6 in our countdown. And it's a habit most seniors overlook, yet it could save your brain from disaster. Number 6, rinsing your mouth with warm water before brushing. This may sound strange, almost too simple to matter, but rinsing your mouth with warm water before brushing your teeth could quietly protect your blood vessels and lower your stroke risk. How? Because your mouth isn't just about teeth. It's a gateway to your heart and brain. Overnight, bacteria multiply rapidly in your mouth. If you brush immediately upon waking, you risk pushing that layer of bacteria and toxins into tiny cuts in your gums, where they can slip into your bloodstream. Once inside, these bacteria trigger inflammation, thicken the blood, and damage the lining of your arteries. This process, called endothelial dysfunction, is one of the earliest steps toward clots and strokes. Researchers in Japan conducted a study on oral health and stroke risk and found that seniors with poor morning oral hygiene had a 1.7 times higher chance of ischemic stroke compared to those who took simple steps to rinse first and reduce bacterial load. In plain English, skipping this tiny habit nearly doubles your risk. Think of it like clearing a dusty filter before turning on your air conditioner. If you start the machine without cleaning, the dust spreads everywhere. In the same way, brushing straight away spreads bacterial toxins into your system, while rinsing first flushes them out. Warm water works better than cold because it loosens debris and improves circulation in your gums, reducing the chance of micro tears where bacteria can enter. One 70-year-old retired bus driver shared his story during a dental health program. For years, he brushed immediately after waking and constantly battled bleeding gums. When he switched to rinsing with warm water first, not only did the bleeding stop, but his dentist noted a dramatic improvement in gum health. He later told researchers that he felt more energetic in the mornings and noticed fewer dizzy spells, a sign that inflammation was dropping in his system. Science explains why this matters. Oral bacteria have been found in the plaques that clog arteries in stroke victims. That means what happens in your mouth doesn't stay in your mouth, it travels to your brain. By rinsing before brushing, you lower bacterial load, calm inflammation, and give your arteries a cleaner start to the day. Over time, this simple morning habit protects the delicate lining of your blood vessels, keeping them flexible and open so blood flows smoothly to your brain. It may feel like a tiny step, but so is the clot that triggers most strokes. Protecting yourself starts with details this small. And if rinsing your mouth can already make this much difference, just wait until you see the next morning habit on our list. Number 5. Eating a handful of berries before breakfast. It sounds almost too sweet to be serious medicine, but berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries are among the most powerful stroke-fighting foods a senior can eat. And the secret lies in their color. That deep blue, red, or purple isn't just for looks. It comes from anthocyanins, natural plant pigments that act as antioxidants, repairing blood vessels, reducing inflammation, and even preventing clots before they start. For seniors who face stiffening arteries and rising blood pressure with age, this tiny handful of fruit can literally save lives. A landmark study published in the Annals of Neurology tracked nearly 70,000 women over 18 years. Those who ate at least 2 servings of berries a week had a 34% lower risk of stroke compared to those who rarely ate them. Why? Because anthocyanins improve the flexibility of blood vessels, making them expand and contract properly instead of staying stiff and brittle. When blood vessels stay elastic, pressure drops, flow improves, and the brain is protected from the sudden blockages that cause strokes. Berries also help by reducing oxidative stress, which is like rust forming inside your arteries. Over time, this rust causes tiny cracks where cholesterol and platelets stick, forming dangerous plaques. Eventually, a piece can break off, block a brain artery, and trigger a stroke. But berries are packed with vitamin C, polyphenols, and fiber, which scrub away that rust, heal the cracks, and keep circulation smooth. Halfway through one dietary trial in Boston, a 68-year-old retired secretary shared her experience. She had struggled with high blood pressure for years and constantly felt tired in the mornings. After she began eating a small bowl of blueberries and strawberries before breakfast, she noticed something surprising. Her energy improved, her blood pressure readings dropped, and she even felt more alert during crossword puzzles. Her story echoed the numbers. Participants eating berries regularly showed improvements in both vascular health and cognitive sharpness. The timing of berries is also critical. Eating them before breakfast means your stomach is empty, so the antioxidants are absorbed quickly and without interference from heavier foods. Think of it like pouring protective oil into an engine before running it. The nutrients coat your blood vessels first, setting the tone for the rest of the day. For seniors who often start mornings with coffee, bread, or eggs, slipping in berries first is a simple upgrade with enormous payoff. It's easy to dismiss berries as just fruit, but the evidence shows they're medicine disguised as dessert. One handful every morning arms your blood vessels against the most common stroke triggers. And if something as sweet and simple as berries can cut stroke risk this dramatically, just wait until you hear about the next morning habit, one that changes your circulation before you even leave the house. Before we move on, tap that like button and subscribe. The most shocking part is still coming. Number 4. Standing in sunlight for 10 minutes. For decades, sunlight was demonized. Too much sun, we were told, could cause skin cancer. Seniors were urged to cover up, hide indoors, or slather on heavy sunscreen. But the truth is, while excess sun can be dangerous, too little sun is just as deadly, especially for the brain and blood vessels. Why? Because sunlight is the body's natural trigger for producing vitamin D, a hormone-like nutrient that directly protects against stroke. Without enough vitamin D, arteries stiffen, blood pressure rises, and clot risk climbs. In fact, multiple studies show that seniors with low vitamin D levels are up to 64% more likely to suffer a stroke than those with healthy levels. A groundbreaking study published in Stroke followed over 26,000 adults. Those with vitamin D deficiency had dramatically higher rates of both ischemic strokes from clots and hemorrhagic strokes from bleeding. Researchers explained that vitamin D reduces inflammation in the arteries, improves the way blood vessels relax, and keeps calcium from building up as hard plaques. In other words, 10 minutes of morning sunlight does what pills can't. It naturally balances your vascular system. Think of your arteries like rubber bands. Without vitamin D, they dry out, lose elasticity, and crack under pressure. With vitamin D from sunlight, they stay flexible and resilient, ready to expand and contract as blood pumps through. And because morning sun is gentle, you get the benefits without the harsh UV risk of midday. Halfway through a wellness program in Florida, a 74-year-old retired construction worker described his shift. For years, he stayed inside after retirement, feeling weak and tired, with dangerously high blood pressure. At his doctor's urging, he began stepping outside each morning for 10 minutes of direct sunlight. Within 3 months, his blood pressure dropped by nearly 15 points, and his energy surged. He told his wife he felt alive again before breakfast. His lab tests confirmed higher vitamin D levels, and his stroke risk dropped significantly. Morning sunlight does more than make vitamin D. It also resets your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that regulates sleep, hormones, and blood pressure. When your eyes sense natural light, your brain signals the body to stabilize cortisol and melatonin. This lowers stress, reduces morning spikes in blood pressure, and primes your cardiovascular system for the day. Seniors who expose themselves to morning sun not only sleep better, but also experience fewer irregular heart rhythms. Another hidden stroke trigger. It's important, though, to be consistent. A single sunny day won't erase years of deficiency, but making it a ritual, standing in your yard, sitting on a balcony, or walking down the street, builds up your vitamin D stores, shields your arteries, and lowers stroke risk week by week. So, the next time you wake up, don't just reach for the coffee pot. Step outside, feel the sun on your skin, and know that you're recharging your brain's defenses. Because if 10 minutes of sunlight can heal vessels this powerfully, the next morning habit on this list will push your protection even further. Number 3. Drinking lemon water with a pinch of Himalayan salt. It might look like nothing more than a fancy drink, but starting your morning with lemon water mixed with a pinch of Himalayan salt is one of the most underrated stroke prevention rituals. Why? Because this simple combination tackles two silent killers that fuel strokes in seniors: dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. Your body loses water overnight through breathing and sweating. By morning, your blood is thicker, your vessels are under strain, and your brain is more vulnerable to clots. Plain water helps, but when you add fresh lemon juice and a small amount of Himalayan salt, the effect multiplies. Lemon delivers vitamin C and natural antioxidants that strengthen blood vessels, while Himalayan salt provides trace minerals like magnesium and potassium that balance blood pressure and keep heart rhythms steady. Together, they thin the blood, relax arteries, and restore circulation to the brain, exactly what you need to slash stroke risk. A 2012 study in stroke found that seniors with low potassium intake were 45% more likely to suffer ischemic strokes. Himalayan salt contains small but crucial amounts of potassium and magnesium, minerals that act like relaxing agents for blood vessels. At the same time, lemon juice has been shown in research to reduce arterial stiffness, one of the strongest predictors of stroke. Combine the two in the morning, and you're not just rehydrating, you're rewiring your circulation for protection. Think of it this way: your arteries are like garden hoses. Overnight, when fluid levels drop, pressure builds and the hose stiffens. The first surge of blood in the morning can cause damage. Lemon water with minerals prepares the hose, softening and lubricating it before the pressure rises. That means smoother flow, less strain, and fewer opportunities for clots or ruptures. Midway through a lifestyle intervention program, a 71-year-old retired nurse described her transformation. She had battled high blood pressure for over a decade, despite medication. At her doctor's suggestion, she began drinking lemon water with a pinch of Himalayan salt each morning. Within weeks, she reported steadier energy, clearer thinking, and, most shockingly, her blood pressure readings dropped enough for her doctor to reduce her medication dose. She said it was the first time in years she felt like her body was finally cooperating. Some seniors worry about salt, and for good reason. Excess table salt raises blood pressure. But Himalayan salt isn't the same. It's unrefined, rich in over 80 trace minerals, And when used in a tiny pinch, it restores electrolyte balance without the harmful sodium overload. The key is moderation. Just enough to replenish what your body lost overnight, not enough to push pressure higher. This ritual is also incredibly easy. Half a lemon squeezed into warm water with a pinch of pink salt stirred in. That's it. No pills, no special equipment, just a morning habit with massive payoff. For seniors over 60, it's not about extreme changes. It's about small, consistent habits that prevent disaster before it strikes. So tomorrow morning, before coffee, before breakfast, start with this golden drink. Feel it rehydrate you, steady your blood pressure, and flood your brain with oxygen-rich flow. Because if lemon water with minerals can already transform your circulation, the next morning habit will take your brain and arteries to an entirely new level of protection. Number 2. Practicing neck and shoulder rolls. It may look like the simplest stretch in the world, but rolling your neck and shoulders in the morning can quietly protect you from one of the most overlooked stroke risks: poor circulation to the brain. As we age, muscles around the neck and shoulders tighten, compressing the arteries that deliver blood to the head. This restriction can reduce oxygen flow and contribute to clots forming in the carotid arteries, two of the main pipelines that feed the brain. A stiff neck doesn't just cause discomfort, it can actually set the stage for a stroke. A study published in the Journal of Stroke and Cerebrovascular Diseases revealed that seniors with chronic neck stiffness had a significantly higher chance of reduced carotid blood flow, directly linking mobility to brain health. By practicing gentle rolls each morning, you release tension, improve circulation, and prevent those arteries from narrowing further. Think of it as unclogging a hose by shaking out the kinks. Once the pressure is relieved, water flows freely again. During a physical therapy program, a 76-year-old retired bookkeeper admitted she often woke with a stiff neck and morning dizziness. Her therapist taught her slow, controlled neck and shoulder rolls each day. Within weeks, her dizziness eased, her posture improved, and she said she could feel blood rushing to her head more easily. For her, this tiny routine felt like reclaiming stability after years of unsteadiness. The beauty of this habit is how little it takes. Just a few minutes of rolling your shoulders backward, dropping your chin gently, and making slow circular motions can wake up circulation, relax muscles, and prime your arteries for the day ahead. Add it right after your morning rinse or glass of water, and you've given your brain one of the simplest but most powerful shields against stroke. And if stretching can restore blood flow this effectively, wait until you discover the number 1 morning habit. A habit so powerful that researchers compared its effects to prescription medicine in reducing stroke risk. Number 1. Doing 2 minutes of cold face splashing. It might seem extreme or even silly to lean over the sink and splash your face with cold water. But what happens inside your body during those 2 minutes is nothing short of life-saving. Cold water triggers the dive reflex, an ancient survival response that slows heart rate, narrows blood vessels in the skin, and shunts blood toward the brain and heart. For seniors, this reflex is powerful protection against the surges in blood pressure and irregular heart rhythms that often lead to stroke in the early morning hours. A study from the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that cold facial immersion lowered systolic blood pressure by an average of 11 points in older adults, a reduction strong enough to slash stroke risk dramatically. Cold water also stimulates the vagus nerve, the calming switch of the body, which reduces inflammation, steadies heart rhythms, and improves blood vessel tone. In other words, it doesn't just wake you up, it recalibrates your circulation. One 70-year-old retired mechanic described his morning ritual during a cardiovascular health program. He said he used to feel lightheaded when standing up, his heart racing unpredictably. After adopting 2 minutes of cold face splashing, he reported steadier mornings, calmer energy, and fewer dizzy spells. His blood pressure readings confirmed it. Morning spikes were gone, replaced with smooth, stable numbers. Cold water also tightens blood vessels in the skin, forcing blood deeper into the core. This increases flow to the brain, delivering oxygen right when it's needed most. Think of it as a reset button for your circulation. 2 minutes that can undo the silent damage of a long night's dehydration and inactivity. It may sound uncomfortable at first, but over time, seniors describe it as invigorating, almost addictive, and when the trade-off is a brain shielded against the deadliest vascular attack, a little splash of discomfort is worth every drop. So, there you have it. The 6 simple morning habits that can cut your stroke risk by up to 70%. Start your day by rinsing your mouth with warm water, eating a handful of berries, standing in sunlight, drinking lemon water with Himalayan salt, practicing neck and shoulder rolls, and finishing with 2 minutes of cold face splashing. None of these require medication, expensive equipment, or hours of effort. They are small, consistent actions that build an invisible shield around your brain day after day. Strokes don't give warnings. They don't wait until you're ready. But with these habits, you can fight back. You can protect your independence, your memories, and your future. Now I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And which of these morning habits are you ready to try tomorrow? Drop your answer below. We go through every single comment like it's part of your health record, because your stories matter. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, share it with someone you love, and subscribe for more life-saving senior health tips. Your mornings are more powerful than you think. Use them wisely, and you may keep strokes from ever stealing your story. Anything you'd like to add? Comment below. We value your perspective. Thanks for watching.